Everyone, we'll begin with the pledge of allegiance of the flag.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome everyone to this meeting of the Marion School Board. If anyone from the public would like to speak tonight, please complete a green comment card available at the table at the back of the room and give it to the board clerk, Mrs. Rose. There's also a list of reminders regarding rules for public participation on the back table. Please review those prior to comments. We'll begin with the consent agenda as follows. 25-198, minutes of the executive session held on September 9th, 2025. 25-199, minutes of the regular meeting held on September 9th, 2025. 25-200, personnel report. 25-201, expenditure approval list. 25-202, financial reports. 25-203, acceptance of donations. 25-204, requisition to raise funds, MHS boys basketball. 25-205, requisition to raise funds, MHS band. 25-206, requisition to raise funds, Kendall Art Classroom. 25-207, requisition to raise funds, Allen Art Classroom. 25-208, food service supervisor pay. Do we have any members of the public who are here to speak tonight? Thank you. Superintendent Lockwood, do you have a recommendation?
President Solano, I recommend that the board approve with one motion and one vote the consent agenda items 25-198 through 25-208 as presented.
Is there a motion? Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions? Discussion? No. Can we have the roll, Ms. Rose?
Yes. Ms. Pinto?
Aye.
Mr. Delgado?
Aye.
Dr. Hart?
Aye.
Mr. Griffin?
Aye.
Ms. Solano?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. 25-109 for discussion. We have the school calendar for 2026-2027. Superintendent Lockwood.
I think all of you should have had a chance to review the school calendar proposal that we had for the 26-27 calendar year. I'm trying to remember, there was one thing that we adjusted, but I think it was adjusted because it might have been because of either James Dean days or something else. They had homecoming. Yeah, we didn't have any learning day on homecoming and caught that, so we adjusted it. So that's why that e-learning day is a little off. It doesn't quite match up with the calendar that we have. Other than that, thank you, Steph.
That's a good point.
Other than that, that was the only thing that that's the biggest adjustment that we made in it. So I think we had, was it last year, homecoming was on e-learning day. We did not like that. So that was one thing that we looked at when it came out to make sure it was not going to be on homecoming day. So
good deal.
Yeah. So I don't know if anybody's got any questions.
Or no? Okay, and no public comments on this item. Thank you. And then public hearing on proposed budget for 2026, 25-210, the proposed budget. At this time, we'll open the meeting for a public hearing on the proposed 2026 budget. Are there any comments or questions from the public? Thank you. Any questions from the board? Oh, wait. Okay.
I saw that there was a slight increase receiving in this budget of $239. I think I read, and that's a small percentage, but it's $239 I think per student. Is that right?
Yeah, that's pretty close to exactly what it should be.
So we know that there have been changes, some of which we're pleased with and some of which we're not. But if there is an overall increase to what we're receiving from the state per student, was this more or less than we were expecting?
So right now, what we're doing is we're basing that budget off of an updated count that we have, and so the additional dollars per student was expected because the state stated that they would be giving almost 2% more to the basic grant tuition in this budget year. So we did expect that. Overall, budget is not significantly increased because we did have other expenditures and appropriations that have been changed in other ways. So, but to answer the key point or question of was it expected, yes, a 2% increase was announced by the governor for this budget cycle.
So there may be other difficulties and changes, but at least that one piece, in a very small way, but seems to point out that we're moving in a good direction.
That, which covers our students, is our student tuition, but that doesn't impact our operations,
Right.
which is what we're hit with.
Yeah.
With
Okay, so
property tax caps.
it goes in the education fund.
Right. So, but we also need to keep the lights on, mop the
Right.
floors and yeah. So,
That money goes in the education fund, which that is based on the amount of students that we have enrolled. And like President Slongo said, the money that's impacted through Senate Bill 1 comes from the operation funds, which is everything else that we need, because we have two accounts, the education fund and the operation funds. So there are two different kind of pots of money. But yes, there is an increase per student amount that we're going to get based on state funding for this year on that piece.
I have a question about something else. I want to say to that public, to Kyle, you done a wonderful job of making this presentation of the budget. I mean, any question that we might want to ask, generally has already been answered.
No, thanks.
Which is a good thing. But I was looking at the count of students, and I'm noticing I was very pleased to see that the kindergarten enrollment is up by 16 students compared to last year at the point that we counted on. I think that is that speaks well to the reputation of our kindergarten, and it also speaks well, I think, to what happens in Little Giants preschool, that we were able to maintain the 292, but we're increasing. Again, looking back, this 308 is the highest we've had in 10 years, and that's we've had ups and downs, and the 308 represents a 3-year raise. 2023 we were low at 281, excuse me, but then 2024 292, and then 308, and I think I would like to say that we must be doing something right if we're getting a 3-year increase in the number of children who are coming into kindergarten. I think that's wonderful. And now I'm looking at another one, and this is the ADM history, I think, for the whole district overall, and this is the one that is troubling, and that is apparently last year, 2024, we had 3,443 students, and this year we have 3,414, and it looks like whereas kindergarten in 23, 24, and 25 has increased a bit each time, it looks like in the same 3 years, 23, 24, 25, we've had a progressive decrease in the overall number of students in our district. This is concerning because we're losing state tuition for each of those students. And if we want to do a great educational program for all of our students, this decrease is troubling. Now, this was the 2025-3414 was done. When did we do that number?
That would have been
34.
that was 25.
Yeah.
And that data was the last count that we had.
So that would have been the February count in 2025. That's what I was thinking.
Okay, so what is the actual count in September 23rd, 2025? That's what I'd like to know.
It's
3352.
Okay. All right. 3352. So, please, somebody who's a genius in math, I'm not, from 30, what is the percentage of loss from February until now?
I don't know. I have to
Okay.
figure it out.
Mr.
We don't look at it by percentages.
Okay, well, okay,
So,
what
yeah,
keep the numbers? That's 414 to 352, so that's 62. Okay. And that is I think is that a higher, yes, that's a higher number of loss than we had in the last 3 years.
yes.
Correct. Okay. And now we're looking at, so we lost 52.
62.
How many?
62.
62. 62 times that, how much money is that?
about 502,000.
So $500,000 we've lost because of this. What do we project will be our loss the rest of this academic year? I mean, based on what we've seen in the past, do we, in a year like this, do we normally lose another 60 students?
By February.
Okay. So we have a critical situation. We must find out why we're losing 64 students between February and now. Now, some people may have moved. And so I guess what I'm asking, Mr. Neely, you could probably do this. Could you find out what the reason was for the 64 students that are gone? Did they move?
We've gathered that data and giving that to the principals, and they are looking at where our students are going and how those are moving. Some of those numbers are based on numbers of students that graduate and the size of class sizes from one to the other. So we are going in a little bit of a downward enrollment. I think about everybody in the county or across the state is seeing a drop in enrollment right now from other superintendents and other school systems that Mr. Mealy and I both have spoken with. So that is part of the reason. There is one positive thing in there, and we are looking at doing some deeper dives into enrollment projections as far as like live birth rates and things like that. When you talked about the number of students that we have in each one of our classes, sorry, I get my glasses, but our classes right now, the elementary level, are much higher than the classes that we're seeing at our secondary levels, which means our K-4 classes we're seeing higher numbers in. So we're bringing higher numbers in when you're graduating. So just so you see where that's coming from, if that projection keeps going in the way that it is, those numbers are going to come back up. So some of that is that we're probably seeing a slight mix of just lower class numbers in some of these, but we are looking at a significant drop right now.
You know, there's a word that I've learned that people are using, and they use the word incentivize. And it's a normal job situation. Everybody's doing their normal work, but management does something to incentivize people. Not that they're going to do that much better, but maybe the loyalty or something increases. And I don't know, in a school district, is there something that we can do to incentivize parents to keep their children with us? I don't know what the answer would be, but I'm just asking the question.
I think there's always ways of looking at how you can increase enrollment in your school district and different things that you can to incentivize people. A lot of that is done, especially at the lower levels or even the upper levels, and it's the programming and things that you were doing to create those. Facilities, looks of places, there are a lot of different things that we can do that we probably need to look at as a school corporation and what we want to do at Marion Community Schools and how we want people to view us. We have a lot of great things going on here. I don't think we always do a great job of letting people know the things that we have going on. I think that we're trying to pull ourselves out of a rut when we let others create a story that we're not doing the things that we need to do, and our kids are progressing and our kids are doing things. So I think for us, it's a combination of just, coming together as a school community, as an overall community, and supporting the school and supporting our students and supporting our families and creating programming that our kids want and can thrive in. So I think that takes people working together, which I think we're moving in the right direction for that.
And I definitely think that it is important, losing the kids that we're getting to the root cause of what's happening. So Dr. Hart had mentioned before about the possibility of exit interviews or something like that to why are we losing so many, especially at the secondary level? What is going on, but also is it lack of communication that somebody gets to be in front of that parent that's withdrawing their kid and saying, it's because you guys don't do X, Y, and Z, and someone can say, but we do X, Y, and Z, and they just didn't know about it, and they're then, maybe change their mind and not lose them. So hopefully we're coming up with, procedures for that as we're losing some of these students, and, because there's so much to offer here at Marion Community Schools that, when they're leaving, it's concerning that it is going down. So hopefully
No, I absolutely agree with you, and I don't think that families should be able to leave without a conversation so that we can always look at how we can improve and get better with what we're doing. I'm not going to disagree there.
One other question about the budget. I noticed that the rainy day fund, we budgeted $400,000 to put in the rainy day fund, and it was the same amount of money that we did last year. And the $400,000 is it 10% of our of the amount that we have in the rainy day fund?
So the $400,000 in senior budget, the key to remember about your budget is what you're setting up is your authority to spend. So you have $3 million in the rainy day fund. What that 400,000 represents is the state's allowing us to spend 400,000 of that 3 million.
Okay.
So we aren't adding any money in. A board resolution would add any of our cash balance. We wanted to put it into rainy day, but at the same time, we have the authority right now to only spend 400,000 out of that 3 million. If we wanted to go beyond that, we would have to do an additional appropriation, which we can do if we needed to, which is just through the board and request more authority to spend. So really, when you're looking at your budget that you are presenting, you're presenting a budget that allows you to have up to this amount to spend.
Okay.
Rather than saying this is the money we're going to get. And our proposed budget right now still has to go to the state, and it will be reduced or maybe left the same. It will not add to it. So that still has that process, and we won't know till November, late November, early December, when we get back our what's called 1782 notice, exactly what our budget is that we have the authority to spend. So outside of that, the cash we have in our balance is true money that we have. So in rainy day, we have $3 million, a little over that, and that 400,000 that you see in there, it's the same as last year. Just say we don't anticipate to spend any more than 400,000.
I'm sorry for my ignorance. I thought that was money we were putting there, not money authority to spend.
No, there's no need to apologize. When everyone figures out education finance mistake, we'll all be better off.
Are there further comments regarding the budget? Okay, so if there are no further questions from the board, I will officially close this public hearing. Now, we do have public comment at this time. Is this the only one for right now?
Good evening. I'm Sue Nicholson. I live on Euclid Avenue here in Marion. I'm the district lead nurse for Marion Community Schools. I want to publicly thank the Lions Club. They have, for the past at least 5 years, screened every first, third, fifth, and eighth grade student for vision. Now just imagine, first graders getting vision screenings. I mean, they do a fantastic job. I figured that this year they've done 1,000 students. They do volunteer, they bring volunteers in, they work very tirelessly with the students and do a super good job. And I feel like we as a community benefit from that because parents don't have to take their kids to the eye doctor and they get a good screening. And then the first graders are also screened by local physicians, optometrists for free. But we screen those kids and make sure that they're ready for the optometrist. So it's a huge service that the Lions Club does for Marion Community Schools and other schools too. But I just think it's time we publicly thank them for their dedication. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other comments? Okay. Marion Teachers Association.
I had
Very good. Superintendent Blackwood.
I want to remind everybody, you have an e-learning day on Friday. Next Friday, you have homecoming, so I know that things are progressing along well. We have a lot of challenges that are coming up financially with school systems, but I do think with some good planning and good teamwork and good communication that we will persevere and continue to grow as a school system. So I appreciate staff and I appreciate the dedication that people have to Marion Community Schools, and I just feel like I need to say that every time that we meet, especially for our teachers and our staff that works with our kids every day. Because sometimes that's very, very hard, and they don't get thanked enough for the things that they do. So I do appreciate the work that everybody does for our kids here.
So absolutely, thank you very much. Board comments.
Sure. First of all, I'd like to thank Ms. Nicholson for bringing that up about the Lions Club because I'm sure that does greatly affect our kids and our ability to learn that if they need classes or not. So I know that's a big factor. Also, I'd like to thank Mr. Neely for all the time and effort he's put into doing a budget. I'm sure that's a lot of fun to do on your spare time. Also, I'd like to read this meeting's donations to the school. First off, we have Myers Store donated to the MHS athletic supplies, $1,500. Hubert Arts donated to the library birthday books of $700. Lane Mackey donated to the MHS dance team $20. Emily Dahlgren, MHS dance team $5. M&M Painting LLC donated to GRCC Criminal Justice for $135. Dollar Distribution Center donated to school supply boxes in all buildings for the amount of $9,925. We had an anonymous donor for the MHS Girls Golf per speaker, $180. And the Lions Club of Grand County donated to the MHS Key Club for $150, which brings our total for the year to $97,249.60.
That's awesome.
So, thank you.
Absolutely, very grateful to our community.
First of all, thank you to the Lions Club. Thank you, Ms. Nicholson, for bringing that up. You didn't have any idea how long they've been doing that.
Sorry.
How long have they been doing that?
I was sitting here trying to remember, I think 5 years.
Okay.
What it does is we do it a day. So the kids aren't disrupted day after day with the nurse trying to get them out of the classroom. So that's another help for
Huge help.
teachers.
I wanted to ask because someone's worn glasses for a long time, they make it pumpkin at some point, but I didn't want to come everybody use on the government. But thank you for bringing that up. That sounds like a huge help. I'd like to say thank you to Mr. Gibson. Patricia, it's amazing how you were able to put out announcements that are carefully worded, say what we need to hear in a pleasant way, and it's so. I find it very helpful. I think that many of the people in the community, they go to the website, they take a look at it, and if they didn't see it on our website, they read it in the newspaper. People walk up to you and they say, "Oh, Chuck, I saw you in the newspaper," and you say, "What?" And then you realize, "Oh yeah, that's a picture of something that happened." And I think that you create a very pleasant background for us as an organization that gives people, it helps to give people, or helps to give us a nice edge, a good edge, where sometimes people, they're upset with us, but, well, look what they do. They're telling us what they do. And so, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, everyone. If there's no further business, this meeting is adjourned. The next scheduled meeting of the Board of School Trustees will be our regular meeting on October 14th, 2025, 6:30, right here in the boardroom. Thank you, everyone.